Alright boys, welcome back to another video. So yesterday when I made my recap on the game, I don't think I truly appreciated how epic that win was. To lose Jalen Brunson a minute into the game, we're already without OG, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson. This team hasn't been healthy for what seems to be months, and they go out there and they beat the number 2 seed. The Knicks are on the road. I get Donovan Mitchell didn't play, Karis LeVert didn't play, but no team can be telling us which of their star players are not out there because we've been without ours for the longest time. Mitchell Robinson looked like he was going to have a career year, the way he was rebounding, blocking shots. And then Isaiah Hartenstein, he's even missed some time. We're missing 3 starters right now, 4 with the Brunson injury, but we get production from Miles McBride. He picked the best time to go out there and to show up. McBride played 47 minutes. Think about how crazy that is. You think you're going to be coming off the bench playing 15 to 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden you have to play the entire game. And he delivered. He was 4 of 9 from 3, 5 assists, plus 11. Had to defend Darius Garland, who's one of the best point guards in all of basketball. Bogdanovic as well played 30 minutes, gave us 20 points. We got very high production from Dante DiVincenzo, who was 11 of 22 from the field, which is remarkably impressive, but especially when you take 14 threes and you make 6 of them. And the threes that DiVincenzo takes are more often than not contested. They're deep threes. He's moving. I mean, those are not easy shots by any means. He had 28 points. Think of the addition that DiVincenzo has been to this team. Last year, we didn't have a player like him. We didn't have a guy that could move around and catch the ball and shoot and play make and defend. He's just a smart player. Every team he's been on has gotten better, and clearly the Knicks are a much better team with him out there. Ever since he moved in the starting lineup, he's been giving us 20 every single night since January, 23 points per game. Just shout out to him. Josh Hart, to me, though, was the most impressive player in this game. His defense doesn't exactly show up fully in the box score. Yes, 2 blocks and 2 steals is awesome, but Hart's defense in this game just cannot be overstated. He also gave us 13 points, 10 assists, had 19 rebounds. Remember, Josh Hart is 6'4". Him grabbing 18, 19 rebounds to this point is almost expected, which is just crazy to think about because how many players play their entire career and don't get 19 rebounds in a game? It's just almost unheard of. You just don't see that. And Hart has been giving us 10 boards a night, what it seems like recently. And then Isaiah Hartenstein as well, decided to go with him on the thumbnail just because he has been huge for us this season, stepping in for Mitchell Robinson. If you were to just turn on the Knicks, you would think he's our always starting center, but no, he's not. He just plays like 8 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 23 minutes. To put up those numbers in 23 minutes is so impressive. Hartenstein, I just love his passing ability. He also finishes through contact well. There was a couple of ones that probably should have been an and one, but he still was able to finish it. So shout out to him as well. Jericho Sims, I've been loving what I'm seeing out of him. Rebounding the ball, blocking shots, being active. Glad that we kept him. I know there were some teams interested in trading for him. I feel like if Sims did go to another team and became more of a guy who with more opportunity, of course he gets chances with the Knicks, but if he was a starting center on, I'm not going to say like a bad team because that's kind of like disrespectful, but if he was a starting center, I feel like he would have ridiculous potential. He's just not going to be getting more minutes than Achua and Hartenstein very often. It's happened, but for now we like where he's at. And then we talked about McBride. Alec Burks played 11 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. I like Burks, his confidence. He's not afraid to take some bad shots. I feel like the majority of his shots are bad, which is at the end of the shot clock, or we just need somebody to create. I like Burks. 11 minutes to me is perfect for him. In the playoffs against whether it be Milwaukee, Boston, Cleveland, whoever we end up playing, this is a guy who's going to have to score the ball in those 11 minutes. 6 shots in 11 minutes is kind of what I expect out of Alec Burks. A fully healthy Knicks team, who knows, man? I don't know if he's going to be having too much of a role, but just to have a guy at the end of your bench that you know is a 40% three-point shooter, that you know can play make and play the combo guard, is a huge asset. And of course, Charlie Brown Jr. didn't get into this game. We only had 3 guys available off of the bench. I guess technically, well, we had 3, but just Brown didn't play, so we only went with 2 of those guys off the bench, which is just hilarious to think about. And if you think about it, McBride, I guess we had 4 because it was Bogdanovic, Sims, Burks, Brown, and McBride of course, technically came off the bench, but he played 47 minutes. So, yeah, I like this team where they're at. 48.8% from the field, 41 from 3, 70 from the free throw line. Our defense in this game was good. Cleveland, they finished the game. It's not like they were inefficient. 45 from the field, 39 from 3. They were 37.5 from the free throw line. They only took 8 of them, so the Knicks did a good job of not fouling. The Knicks were the more physical team. The Knicks hit more timely shots. If you go back and watch the game again, or you just remember it, the last couple of minutes of this game, the Knicks just weren't missing. They were knocking down shots, and they did what they had to, and that's why they were able to pick up the win. To me, I am focused on our next couple of games because there is some difficult ones. So we have to take on the Hawks, the Magic, the Sixers twice, Blazers, Kings, Warriors, Nuggets. So you can see there's also some very difficult games. Tickets as low as $5 against the Blazers. That has to be obviously on the road. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine getting a Knicks ticket for $5? One thing I will say about the Knicks is the fans always have traveled well, but this year is probably the best I've seen it. So now I live in Houston, and I wanted to go to that Knicks-Rockets game, but my friend didn't want to go, and obviously he regretted it because that wasn't, well, I wasn't going to say it was an awesome game. He's a Rockets fan because we live in Houston, but for him it would have been an awesome game. For me, could you imagine being there, Brunson, that step back, and then that, in quotations, foul on the three-point shot by Aaron Holiday? But this team, they've been resilient all year. They kind of have done what I expected them to do with all these injuries. Yeah, like, sure, that losing streak of, 4 games in a row was brutal. And then, of course, we beat the Sixers, we lose to Boston, we beat the Pistons, we lose 2 in a row. We probably should not have beaten the Pistons. There was a missed call in that game. We were fortunate to even win that game. If we end up losing that, then now we're talking about another 4-game losing streak. We beat the Cavs. If we can get some momentum going within the next week and then get some of these guys back, we would be in basically a perfect position. The goal is to get the 3 seed because that would mean that we wouldn't have to play Boston until the conference finals. But eventually, if we want to win a championship, we have to beat Boston, right? Like, I just don't see the Celtics losing to anyone in the first 2 rounds. Like, a fully healthy Knicks team in the East, to me, would be the best shot. I know a lot of people are going to say the Heat have a good chance just because we've seen them do it, and playoff Jimmy can't, of course, sleep on him. But I just feel like the Knicks are the team in the East right now that, remember when OG and Randall were healthy? I mean, we were blowing teams out. It wasn't like we were blowing out scrub teams. We're talking about Philadelphia. We're talking about the Denver Nuggets, like the Miami Heat. These are some good teams. And the Knicks just looked like men playing against boys. This team, we have everything we need. It's hard for me to even tell you guys or describe a fully healthy Knicks team because we just haven't seen it. We haven't seen OG, Randall, Mitch, Brunson, DiVincenzo. But just think about how ridiculous this team is going to be at full strength. I mean, we're talking about a starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, and then off of our bench, Josh Hart, Precious Achiuwa, Isaiah Hartenstein, Bojan Bogdanovic, Miles McBride, Alec Burks, Sims. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many ways for the Knicks to be able to beat teams. If they want to go small, then we can put Precious at the 5. If they want to go big, we can put Mitch out there. I mean, it's just endless possibilities. But the biggest thing to me is that the Knicks, they're going to have a chance to prove everyone wrong. I mean, how many times do you guys see on ESPN or this and that about Jalen Brunson, how he's not good enough to be a #1 option on a championship team? I mean, the Knicks have been disrespected the entire year. And it's just finally in January, we had an epic month. Almost was the best month in the history of the Knicks franchise, and they've been around for a while. And then in February, as the injuries kicked in, we had a losing record. We had lost 8 of 11 at one point. But of course, that's just part of basketball.